AskReddit, what does $1,000 get you for your hobby? Subscriber all and humanity. Probably a pretty neat telescope. I've always wanted one that you can plug into a computer and it moves itself to a desired celestial body. It would buy such a nice aquarium. I could probably get one of those cheaper graphic tablets that have the screen built in for $1,000. Or like 2 Copic markers. $1,000 and the overwhelming urge to get a hobby almost buys a new camera lens, a bigger anvil, either $2,000 or $0. Kitchen tools, oh yeah? I could bake so many things. I could get a KitchenAid stand mixture for starters, a lot of yarn, a small army of plastic models, so many baby bonsai. I could lie around doing nothing with a nicer couch, a pretty fucking sweet guitar, better graphics card, or a fuck ton of books, and a shelf or 5. A therapist to help me with the fact that I've lost all interest in my hobbies. Way too many additional games for my pile of shame. OMG, I couldn't imagine having $1,000 to spend on plants and flowers. Just the thought makes my heart skip a beat. I could redo my entire yard, including grass, lol. Parts for a good PC. A single modern deck. $502 bills. A mountain of cheap yarn or a duffel bag worth of top quality yarn. Either way I would be pleased. Some really shitty mods or quite a bit of gas. Cars are expensive as shit. I could finish my plant automation system for whatever plant I wanted to focus on. Ham radio operator. In the HF world, you can drop that in the blink of an eye. If I had $1,000 to spend, I'd probably snap up one of these 600W linear amplifiers. https www.gigaparts.com/lamaritron-l-811.html GCLID equals CJWKCAJ1_PQBRBA71RM Tuxt82XO_5XX4DJPOISE4YJYDJQP5 Odd Tux CLW Fex Vrosi GDGCOVD_BWE. A better mattress and good pillows. My hobby is naps. Maybe half of a new synthesizer. Or a couple modules. Almost an entire set of new irons. Or perhaps a new driver and shiny new GPS watch and a few dozen balls. My hobby is basically as inexpensive as possible. I guess a nice laptop. Fiction writing. You could develop a tidy little coke hobby for that kind of money. Could get me some nice starter armor for full steel sword fighting. HMB. Or an insane arsenal for foam combat. Carbon fiber core everything. My hobby is racing cars. $1,000 might get me through one track day. I eat a lot of ramen. This caused me to consider how if I spent $1,000 on cheese, I could claim it was a hobby-related expense. I thought of it more of a pastime than a hobby, but maybe I'm just not buckling down and focusing on what matters in life, like cheese. I feel like this is a stealth marketing campaign for Andrew Yang. A sweet-ass drawing tablet, a Mexican Strat and a used tube amp, a huge Steam library that I hardly touch. Oh, wait. Some top-tier Latin dance shoes. Removed. Blacksmithing. I could get a decent forge, fix my hammer, and get a 60-pound anvil and still have enough left to get plenty of stock metal to make a bunch of fun stuff. Bookbinding. I couldn't even imagine all the new materials I could get with that. New paper, actual cardboard stock, real curved needles, waxed thread, a book press, hide glue, nice leather, and lots of tools to make beautiful books. Electronics. I could redo almost my entire desk. a good soldering iron, a bench power supply, a voltmeter, oscilloscope, and so many modules. Cars. I could probably get a new toolkit, but the one I got is fine. Maybe a quick tune-up. I've got a bunch of other hobbies, but I don't want a mile-long reply. Is paying down student loan debt a hobby? If so, $1,000 less debt? A barely adequate bicycle? A metric ton of liquor, bud? Some beautiful plants I'd nurture into being worth much more. I go to the gym and play PS4, so PlayStation plus gym equipment, gas money maybe, more games. A new fishing kayak. 2 chicks at the same time. Probably a nice old desk. I like old furniture. Almost half as many dice as any self-respecting tabletop RPG player needs. Or 4 or 5 years of running shoes. Or a pretty nice guitar. Or a full upgrade of my PC. These days it would just be a new screen for my room and new bed and new bedding. I literally come home to bed every day. 1/3 of a professional Muppet-style puppet. 75 pieces of cardboard. Paging R, modern magic for this one. New MIDI keyboard. Ability to plug live instruments into my PC to create my own samples. And a couple badass virtual instruments and sound packs to go crazy with. I probably wouldn't sleep for 3 days. I play card games, so I say around 2 to 3 years of a competitive decks. Just so many snacks for the monsieur. Target shooting is mine, so it depends. A top-tier rifle. Shit ton of ammo. A quality red dot sight. Lessons for parkour. A hobby I want but not have though. Hundreds of great books. A kick-ass new telephoto lens for my bird photos. About 10 days of lift passes and mountain bike rentals. You can't really buy a worthwhile bike for $1,000. Fan art of my characters. Lots and lots of Prismacolor markers, maybe a new mixed media drawing book. Enough alcohol to die. 62 months of Netflix. Most of a new lens I'd like, I think. I just realized I picked the most annoyingly expensive hobbies. Photography, woodworking and knife making. I'm a numismatist, so, $1,000? A 100-gallon aquarium. A commercial canister filter. A Kotu system. Some lights. Fertilizer. Fancy substrate. Fish. Pretty much an awesome fish tank with essentially any cool plant you want and a wide variety of freshwater livestock. You can skimp on plants. As long as you know what you have will populate the tank. Given your lighting and ferts. Just make sure your fish aren't going to outgrow your tank and are compatible with your plants, each other. A niece made in Japan black and gold Fender Telecaster. I am looking at this G for quite some time now. A ton of sheet music and some lessons. Enough discs that I might never have to go look for a lost one in the brush again. 1 full EA game. 1 keyboard, it seems like. A slightly less expensive than normal trumpet. Oh my, I am a dedicated thrift shopper, and with $1,000 I could outfit my family in nearly new brand name clothing for a year and maybe have enough left over for a teak end table or 2. 10 bottles of 1942. A functional PC. A pretty good surfboard setup with travel bag. A few new skateboard decks bearings, maybe some Halos, and some Spitfire Duro 100 ones. That shit's going straight into my legal gambling addiction, the stock market. 1 trip to Sephora. Lots of dildos. $1,000 for guitar. OML, I have so many guitar pedals. Wait, no, actually only like 5. And so many, well, I guess only 1 really cool amp. So expensive. Lots and lots of yarn. About 23,000 paintballs or a dope setup. A decent mirrorless camera like the Sony a6400. Hobby 1. A guitar and a decent amp. Hobby 2. A parts-built quadcopter. Transmitter. FPV goggles and enough batteries and props to crash into the ground several times. Hobby 3. A production division pistol and maybe 3,000 rounds of 9mm.